Present.
Mary Lamont.
Present.
Fran McGregor.
Present.
Mark Myers.
Present. So all members are present. We now will take public comment, and I see in our audience an esteemed trustee of Washoe County School District, Trustee Mayberry, who I think has some thoughts he'd like to share.
Yeah, I'll just do it. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Adam Mayberry, and this is my kind of meeting. This is really nice. I need to come to these meetings more often. I'm a trustee for the school board, District F. It's one of the two at-large districts, so I have essentially half the county, everything on the east side from Geiger Grade to the south, all the way up to Gerlach, and essentially everything on the east side of I-580 and 395, with the exception of some Worcester High and some urban areas in Sparks or in Reno. But I just really have no agenda today. We're making the rounds as members of the school board and thanking our volunteers that serve on the committee, and that's really why I'm here. I understand that you're educators or former educators, so I want to thank you for your service and what you've done for our families and students, and for what you continue to do, and with respect to administering the benefits and the health concerns for many retirees. I wish that was something that all the employees can have, but it's pretty consistent for most government agencies to, at some point, not be as generous as they have been for a number of reasons. But as a member of the school board, I do want to acknowledge all of you and appreciate your efforts and send you a debt of gratitude. So thank you for showing up and doing what you're doing, and we just ask that you continue to serve. And if there's anything I can do in my capacity, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. And I'm delighted to know that our CFO is the chair of this committee. I saw him the other day walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden I started hearing the Emperor's theme from Star Wars. So yeah. So that's all I have. God bless you all, and thank you very much for your service. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other public comment, we'll move to section 2 of the agenda. So in your packet, on the left side, I think, is the agenda. On the right side are the actual agenda materials. So our first item is item 2.01, approval of the minutes for our committee meeting of February 23rd. Do any members have any changes, edits, what have you, to the minutes themselves? Yes, sir.
Jeff Kirst. I noticed that at the last paragraph, there's a possible typographical error. It's 500 and I think it should be $510,000. There's a zero missing at the last paragraph.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, on the first page. Got it. Yes, you are correct. We will change that.
And then this is very picayune, but I did see it. I think the meeting was called to order at 3:32 and adjourned at 3:30. So we had a time differential there.
Okay. We will change, yes, we will change that. We'll go back and listen to the minutes and get that correct time for the adjournment. Thank you for seeing that. I did not spot that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, with those edits, do I have a motion to approve the amended minutes for February 23rd?
Fran McGregor, I so move.
I will second that motion.
Okay, seeing no one here to give public comment on that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Seeing none, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Member Kirst, for spotting those two items. Okay, our next agenda item is also an action item. It is item 2.02 is requesting approval to authorize the transfer and expense of funds from the OPEB trust for the indicated OPEB benefits there in that formal request from our board president. Just a few words about that. Nevada Administrative Code specifies kind of the manner and format of these requests. Usually we see requests like this at the beginning of the fiscal year. This year we're kind of waiting to see how our health insurance fund was shaking out. So you see this request here this month prior to the completion of our fiscal year, but these are benefits that were budgeted in the OPEB trust budget. Again, they are for various retiree health benefits, $2.8 million for to cover subsidy payments for retirees in the state PEB program, $1.64 million for other retiree medical subsidies that are available to, again, eligible retirees, and then just a tad under $1 million for our retiree life insurance subsidies. All of these monies, if approved, would be transferred out of the OPEB trust to our health insurance fund to cover those expenses. So I will entertain any questions members have. It's been a while since you've seen something like this, so if you have questions, feel free to fire away.
Jeff Kirst, one question. The amount going out is approximately $5.5 million, and then there's $4,300,000 roughly in cash. Will they just sell something, or how does that work?
Yeah, how that works is we'll process a request for withdrawal out of the RBIF fund that's managed by Nevada PERS staff, which, you know, they can handle, right? They keep a certain amount of cash. So that's how we'll cover that request.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve the request not to exceed $5,473,625 for reimbursement of retiree medical costs as indicated on the form signed by the board president.
Fran McGregor, I move that we send this money. I don't even know how to say this time. I'm sorry. Jeff, you want to do it?
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
I move that we transfer the $5,473,529 from the trust to cover the health benefits as signed by the President of the Board of Trustees.
Yes, 629.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's 500 on this one.
Fi-
5 million.
5,473,629.
625, yeah, you know. 629, yes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Fran McGregor, I second.
All right, seeing no public comment on this item, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item 2.03 is approval of the OPEB budget for next fiscal year. Again, this is required by statute. The budget was prepared by district staff. We increased the budget for benefit payments just to reflect what could happen. The actual amount transferred will depend on actual costs, but you can see we've estimated or budgeted 6.8 million in transfers out for next fiscal year. We've budgeted 7 million in revenues, which consist entirely of either contributions by the district, which is $2 million, and investment earnings. So the budget's set up so that we have a small surplus, but again, of course, our actual surplus will depend on the markets and how much we actually need to transfer out of the OPEB trust. Does anyone have any questions about that budget for next fiscal year 24?
Jeff Kirst, on the budget, we put in the adjustment to fair market value. That's just a guess, correct?
Yeah, the way we budget for it is we use the assumed returns on the different asset classes multiplied by what we think will be the average daily balance held in the account to come up with that number. So yeah, it's purely an estimate.
And as we disperse these funds to cover the benefits for the retirees, the trust is dependent on the school district to keep refunding it should we start to run low or if there is a big market glitch?
That's right. We can adjust up our contributions, kind of depending on our fiscal situation as well. But yes, the district ultimately has to cover all retiree medical costs, whether they do it out of the health insurance fund or the OPEB trust fund. It's an obligation of the district that it can never, absolve itself of. But so yes, more than likely we would increase our contributions into the trust to cover those costs.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the OPEB budget for fiscal year 2023-2024.
Fran McGregor, I move that we approve the OPEB budget for fiscal year 23-24.
Do I have a second?
Mary Lamont, I second that motion.
Okay, seeing no one out there to give public comment on this item, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion passes unanimously. Okay, we move on to agenda item 2.04. This is for discussion only, and this is a review of the OPEB Trust Fund's third quarter financial statements. These are unaudited, of course. And to do that, I will turn it over to Mindy to go over.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm looking at the, the first page is comparative statement of net position, and the assets, as you pointed out, are $4.3 million in cash. That's actually cash that's in our Wells Fargo account, versus the RBIF has, like Mark had said, they have their own cash in that account. The total assets is $82,202,000 through the end of March. Then you move over to the statement of revenues and expenditures and change in net position. March 31 to 2023, the column of revenues, you can see we're very close to the budget. $7,103,000 is our total revenues, and we had some expenses. The other professional fees are our auditors with the trust. They have to do the tax return, and they started their plans to do the audit on the fund. So our net position as of March 31st is the $82,202,371. And then the last page that I'm looking at is the summary of changes in the RBIF account. You'll see it did go up. The change in unrealized appreciation is $4.5 million on a year-to-date basis. So looks like the market might be swinging back up for now, but who knows what's going to really happen. So the total change for through the end of March was $5.5 million, 59,505. A lot of fives there. So so our net assets in the RBIF is the $77,862,000. So does anybody have any questions?
Jeff Kirst, will this amount go down by what we just approved to transfer to cover the
It will.
employee
Yes. Yep.
retiree benefits? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Minnie. Any other questions? Okay, that was for discussion only, so we will then move to agenda item 2.05, which again is for discussion only. That is a summary of investment returns for our monies with Retirement Benefits Investment Fund. It's a one-pager this time that you see. Hopefully, you all can take a look at that. So again, these funds are passively managed by RBIF's investment managers. They track the benchmark indexes for U.S. stocks, international developed stocks, and then a treasury bond index. So what's somewhat interesting is that international stocks have outperformed domestic stocks, at least for the last year and fiscal year to date. That hasn't happened for quite some time. Those are not hedged for currency risk, so those represent returns based on, the foreign currencies of the holdings. And then you can see U.S. bonds have continued to have a net negative total return. That's a function of the Fed continuing to raise interest rates more or less. So any existing securities or holdings of bonds will have shown, right, depreciation in the market price, which is more than offset the coupon interest they've generated. So that's what you see all over, including at the banks that have seen runs on the bank. All of their holdings have had losses, and so when there's a run on the bank, they incur those losses when they sell them, and that's caused real difficulties in the markets for them. And so we have kind of the same situation here. We have at least unrealized losses, as you can see, a little less than -1%. But that's what's going on there. Hopefully the Fed at some point ends their tightening, and things normalize, and then hopefully you would see positive returns for our bonds. Overall, though, fiscal year to date, we have seen a positive return of 7.7%, which is nice to see after a kind of a brutal year last year. Hopefully, as Mindy said, that'll hold for the remainder of the fiscal year, but we'll see. Yeah, hopefully we'll stay away from a recession, but my crystal ball doesn't work that well. So, any questions? Okay, that takes us to section 3 of the agenda. Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, August 24th at 3:30. That'll be a new school year. Does that time work for you, Mr. Kirst, or will you need, do we need to push back the start time at all?
When I went up there and visited with the principal, they end the middle schools at different times. So I think I'll be up early, like 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 15 miles.
That's right, they do start early. They start the earliest
so I
down
think
here.
this is even better.
Okay.
This was tight this time.
Yeah.
Because we had a different schedule at Innovations. But since I was overaged, I won't be there.
Okay. Well, the children of Desert Skies will benefit greatly from
I'm hoping so.
your
I'm
experience.
starting to be a scorpion. I've already started collecting scorpions. Plaster.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Mark, what was the date?
August 24th, which is a Thursday. Hopefully that works. Okay. Thank you for being here. We didn't have a quorum yesterday of our group insurance committee meeting, and there were some heavy-duty items yesterday on that committee we couldn't get to. So I appreciate you all coming so that we could take action on a couple really important items here. With that, I will open it back up to public comment, unless Thomas wants to give some public comment. I see no public comment. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you very much. Stay dry.